everybody. It is Saturday, November 11th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce, making my way back from Saudi Arabia. And as always, you know you can check me out on the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter, and of course, Coffee, Patreon. All donations are welcome and accepted. Don't forget to check out the YouTube page and the Instagram page as the review for The Marvels is up. It's live. Feeling good. I'm definitely gonna go see the movie again. Actually, it was really fun. But check out the review this coming week on Charismatic Creations. We've got a list coming on Tuesday, ranking the best Full Gear matches, since Full Gear is this weekend, this coming weekend, next week, and we have a new episode of Flashback Friday. And then probably starting next week, we're going to get our Reddit content going for the channel for movies, TVs, and wrestling. But as for today's show right here, right now, I feel like we've done this show before, but it's always good to revisit some things. And we're going to be looking at what to do with the Ring of Honor. We're about 2 years in, I believe, of Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. And it's time to really figure out what to do with this brand, company, whatever you want to call it, especially with TNA making their return and the CW bringing NXT over for 5 years. It's time to figure something else out, but for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, you know what part of the episode this is. This here, we're going to look at the 5 people to bank on to help elevate the Ring of Honor roster. So starting with number 5, I actually have to go with Billy Starkz. Billy Starkz is currently putting in some really good work on the Ring of Honor roster, being paired with Athena and to a lesser extent Lexi Nair, and being with a veteran in this business like Athena has helped the young upstart from New Albany, Indiana grow and grow and grow. Just being paired with her, she's able to get the in-ring ability, let that grow, the skill to grow and to help elevate herself. And Athena has also benefited from being with Billy Starkz. Billy Starkz is young. She's only 19. And I think she has a really bright future in this business. Number 4, Eddie Kingston, man, the current Ring of Honor World Champion. It's just a man's man. Don't tell Eddie Kingston that wrestling isn't real. This guy is just excellent. He can carry a show. He can carry it around because he believes it, and he believes in himself. And that's ultimately the greatest thing about Eddie Kingston. Currently, right now, as the Ring of Honor champion, he is able to just be awesome. And I don't know how much longer his career can go, but I think the Ring of Honor will benefit greatly with him being there. Number 3, Dalton Castle. Now, Dalton Castle is a former Ring of Honor World Champion, and he's currently been going back and forth between, AEW when he's used there and he's used in Ring of Honor, but he's great. He has great control of his character. He's solid on the mic, good in the ring. He knows what he is doing. He is a former Ring of Honor champion, television champion, and 6-man tag team champion with the boys. And if he's not going to be used to the utmost at the top in AEW, use him in Ring of Honor and have him help elevate that brand some more. Number 2, gotta go with the MVP of Ring of Honor, and that would be Athena, the current Ring of Honor Women's Champion, who's used back and forth between AEW and Ring of Honor, but more recently has been used a lot in Ring of Honor. She is absolutely killing it. She is the MVP of Ring of Honor. She is essentially carrying that brand. Since winning the world championship, she is, I believe, now the longest reigning Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, and being paired with Billy Starks has helped her also grow. Because a lot of times thought Athena didn't have, like, there was something missing. The in-ring ability was there, but it was like character work, showing some flash, just showing some, I don't know, pop. But since being teamed up with Billy Starks, it has worked tremendously. Athena is the true MVP of Ring of Honor. Number 1, Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is already a Ring of Honor legend, with him and his brother, the late Jay Briscoe, being probably the greatest Ring of Honor tag team of all time. And his story would be something to bank on. His story to win the TV championship and then to win the world championship, because he's never won a singles title in I believe in any company he's been in. He's always been a tag team with his brother, but now he's on the singles run, and to see him ultimately win the world championship, it would be such an amazing story. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, are the 5 people you should bank on for Ring of Honor. Superstar spotlight is now shining on one Diamante. I've low-key been a fan of Diamante since she's been in Impact all the way back in 2007. That's the first time I saw her, when she's part of the LAX faction. She's good. She is good. She has been in multiple tag teams. She has essentially acquitted herself and has become a very reliable individual in the world of professional wrestling. I think she truly has something to offer. And once AEW can settle their stuff, and then we can fully settle Ring of Honor, she can be a face of that women's division. She is well known. If you look at that women's roster, she is well known, more than a lot of the other women on that roster. And she is someone that you know you can rely on, someone that you know you can count on for reliability, for story, for her to be face or a heel. There's something there with Diamante, and I don't think we've really fully tapped into it just yet. I think she needs to be given the ball and let it run. Let her just go with it, because there's something there, and I'm hoping for great things with Diamante. Ring of Honor, a storied wrestling company that has given us some of the all-time greats, from the Briscoe brothers to Adam Cole to the Kingdom to Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. The list is absolutely fantastic. And Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor about 2 years ago. He's brought it back. And here we are with Ring of Honor occasionally being integrated into AEW, but also trying to stand on its own. But it's time for Ring of Honor to stand on its own. It just has to happen. It needs to happen. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out what to do with Ring of Honor. Okay? We gotta figure that out. So, what's going on with the current show? Well, Ring of Honor airs on Honor Club, a subscription service through the Ring of Honor website. So there is no TV or streaming right now. And Ring of Honor is usually filmed either before or after Rampage, Dynamite's Collision. And that kind of works. It gives people something to watch before, and it gives people something to watch after. But we need to fix that, right? And for a hot minute, when Ring of Honor first got started, they were actually filming in the old Impact Wrestling studios down in Jacksonville. And I truly think, and I truly believe that is the way to go. I think that you can pull off something like NXT, where you have this one place where you film Ring of Honor. And I get it. You want the crowds there, but here's the thing. How many people are actually watching Ring of Honor consistently besides the true diehards? You know what I mean? And how many people actually want to pay for it? So currently, our current champions are Eddie Kingston is the Ring of Honor World Champion. We have no television champion, as Samoa Joe vacated the championship. The pure champion is Katsuyori Shibata. In the tag team division, Better Than You, Bebe, Adam Cole, and MJF are the tag team champions, and the Mogul Embassy, sans Swerve, are the current 6-man tag team champions, and Athena is the current Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Now, I'm fine with most of this, with the exception of Better Than You, Baby. I get why they put the championship on them, but they have to come off. And we've got to get the champions. We've got to get the belts onto people that can be on Ring of Honor consistently. MJF is one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. He has never appeared on a single Ring of Honor show. Not once. Not once. So we've got to fix that. You know what I mean? We've got to somehow get the championships off of him, because we have Full Gear coming up, and he's defending the championship against the Guns. I actually think the Guns would appear more on Ring of Honor than MJF. So we've got to get the championships onto people that will appear consistently on Ring of Honor, and then we have to get for me, we have to do two important things. Figure out what to do with the TV, and figure out what to do with the filming. So for filming, if you're going to tape Rampage after Dynamite, and you have nothing scheduled for Collision, I would actually go out of my way to start taping Ring of Honor before or after Collision, occasionally before Dynamite. Or you build an arena, you use an arena, and film Ring of Honor there. Do what NXT is doing. Have an actual set, have an actual place dedicated to Ring of Honor, and film there. I think that would fix a major issue, because you wouldn't have to worry about big crowds. You have solid crowds, the intimate crowds that Ring of Honor is known for, right? Because you can't have this sporadic show and then do a pay-per-view and expect to sell out an arena for a pay-per-view. And then you have to work on TV and streaming. You have to get Ring of Honor off of Honor Club. And with the CW, with the CW picking up NXT, that would have been the perfect opportunity for Ring of Honor to be on the CW. And I understand why Tony Khan didn't do it, because he wants to settle the AEW TV rights first, but you've got to do something. You were working with Warner Bros. Discovery, and I know that David Zaslav is an absolutely trash person. You have to figure out a way to get AEW Ring of Honor on max. You just have to do it, or work on getting it onto another broadcast network. And it probably won't be the CW, but maybe CBS. It won't be NBC because they're with the WWE. Maybe ABC, possibly. And Fox just got out of the wrestling business because SmackDown's moving back to USA. But you have to figure out how to get a deal done with Ring of Honor. Now let's move over to the roster. So let's take a look at the current roster. The current Ring of Honor women's roster features Athena, our women's champion, Billie Starkz, Charlotte and Robin Renegade, Diamante, Kiera Hogan, Lady Frost, Layla Gray, Lexi Nair, who's not a wrestler but she's the commentator, the backstage interviewer, Layla Hirsch, Maria Kanellis, who occasionally wrestles but more so a manager, Mercedes Martinez, Miranda Alizé, Rachel Ellering, Sky Blue, Trisha Dora, and Willow Nightingale. Okay. That's not a bad roster. That's actually a really solid roster. You have your veterans in Athena, Mercedes Martinez. Those are your two quote-unquote veterans, that the locker room leaders. Then you have your up-and-comers like Billie Starkz, like Layla Hirsch. And then you got some scattering of well-known names that fit. Diamante, Kiera Hogan, Lady Frost, Layla Gray, Miranda Hirsch, Ellering, and the Renegade sisters. That's not bad. I actually like their roster with the exception of two things. I think Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale have outgrown Ring of Honor. They're there to like get matches, to get some reps, but they're essentially, in my opinion, part of the AEW roster now. They've just outgrown Ring of Honor. And it's time to move on, but we need to take them away. All right. And then the men's roster, in the tag team division, we have actually, it's weird. There are like a lot of tag teams in Ring of Honor because the men's roster is quite large. We have AR Fox with, I think, Darius Martin, or we have actually Andretti also with the monster. We got Adam Cole and MJF. We've got the Kingdom. At one point, Hangman Page was there. We've got Bandit. Like, there's a lot of tag teams there. The Outrunners, SAP, the Dark Order, the Mole Embassy, Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, LFI. The tag team division is scattered, but there are tag teams there. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. So we're not hurting for tag teams in Ring of Honor. There are actually plenty of tag teams there, but we don't have a lot of 6-man tags. I don't think Ring of Honor needs 6-man tags, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And then on the main men's roster, we've got a scattering of people that we know, that we've seen, like AR Fox, Eddie Kingston, Bandito, the Mogul Embassy, Cole Cabana, Christopher Daniels, Ethan Page, Shotty Lee Johnson, Shane Taylor, Mark Briscoe, the Kingdom. So we've got people there. We've got the Righteous. We've got people there. We got Shibata. We've got Wheeler Yuta. So I actually think Ring of Honor has plenty of men for both the tag division, the Pure Championship, the TV Championship, and the World Championship. So what we need to do is build a new roster. So let's start with the 6-man, okay? We have the Mogul Embassy. We have them as our current 6-man tag team champions, right? So we've got to put some new teams together. We have LFI, who they're one of the few people I think can be featured prominently both AEW and Ring of Honor. They can go back and forth, right? I think once healthy, Top Flight should include Action Andretti. I like that. Angelico's a weird case because Luther's gone and he's got Sir Pentico, so he's not really there, right? We have Dalton and the boys, right? So I'm looking at 4 teams so far. Who else do we truly have? We've got the Outrunners, right? We've got the Outrunners. And I think it's time we start putting maybe some other people together. So we have the Shane Taylor Promotions. We've got Shane Taylor. We've got Lee Moriarty. We need to add a third person to Shane Taylor. Question is, who? Who would fit into Shane Taylor Promotions? And I kind of want to steal Josh Woods away, but somebody else needs to truly fit that mode of what Shane Taylor Promotions is really all about. And I'm here looking at what we've got. Honestly, given the right push and standard, I would put AR Fox with Shane Taylor, right? And we need to round out some more. I would do the Kingdom with Roddy, and we have I know Tony's still part of the roster. So we have Tony Nese, we have Josh Woods. So let's go Nese, Woods, and actually Anthony Henry. So there you go. We have 8 6-man teams, which I don't hate. I really, really like that. And then, actually, now that I think about it, instead of putting AR Fox with Shane Taylor, we'll put Lee Johnson there. So now we have Shane Taylor, Lee Johnson, and Lee Moriarty. That actually works. So now we've got multiple 6-man teams. So now we go into our tag division, and this isn't hard to figure out. So that becomes much easier. So obviously, when you have 6-man teams, rarely do you have a full-on 6-man team. It's usually like one dude that's a single star and a tag team, and they're just really good together, and they work together and they have a common goal. So for the tag team division, we take what we have from our 6-man teams and we just fill it out some more. So we have Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin. We have Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, Lee Moriarty and Lee Johnson representing the Shane Taylor Promotions. We have the Gates of Agony. We have LFI, specifically Drillistico and Preston Vance, right? We have the Boys, the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and they're in that middle along with LFI where they're not fully featured on Ring of Honor. They're more so going to be featured on AEW, but they come into Ring of Honor when need be. We have Charlie Bravo and Captain Sean Dean, Bear Country, JD Drake and Anthony Henry, Griff Garrison, Cole Carter, The Righteous, who I think should also be elevated to AEW, and Angelico and Serpentico. That's a really good tag division. You have solid teams and solid names. You can always bring people in, but now you have enough for a 6-man tag division with 8 teams and a regular tag team division. And then we move on to the women. Everybody I named before with the women's roster stays, with the exception of, Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. They have graduated to AEW. They don't need to be in Ring of Honor anymore. They have become household names. So we have Athena, Billy Starks, the Renegade Twins, Diamante, Kiera Hogan, Lady Frost, Layla Gray, Layla Hirsch, Maria Kanellis, Mercedes Martinez, Miranda Alizé, Rochelle Ellering, and Trish Adora. Now, out of that grouping of women, who would need to be featured in AEW when the time comes? Probably Athena. Kiera Hogan, but mainly Athena. And then I'm taking 3 women from the AEW roster and having them feature almost exclusively on Ring of Honor. Marina Shafir, Red Velvet, Yuka Sakazaki, with Red Velvet going back and forth between AEW and Ring of Honor. She's been featured on AEW twice this week since coming back from injury, and even picked up a victory. And there's something there with her. She can get the reps in Ring of Honor, but then graduate to AEW. And then Yuka Sakazaki, who has been featured in Ring of Honor before, but she's just out right now with an injury. So that's 16 women in the women's division. So one more time: Athena, Billy Starks, the Renegade. 17 women. Athena, Billy Starks, the Renegade Twins, Diamante, Kiera Hogan, Lady Frost, Layla Gray, Layla Hirsch, Maria Kanellis, Mercedes Martinez, Miranda Alizé, Rochelle Ellering, Trish Adora, Marina Shafir, Red Velvet, and Yuka Sakazaki. I like that. I like that division. That's good. So you have a lot of young stars, up and comers who need the reps and can get the TV time. Billy, Renegade Twins, Layla Hirsch. Yeah. And then you've got some names and you've got some veterans. I like this. I like this roster. This gets me excited. And then for the men's roster, so we already have tag teams. We already have 6-man. So the men here are essentially people that will be featured in the world title program, the TV title programs, and the pure championship. So we have AR Fox, Angelico, Bandito, Brian Cage, Dalton Castle, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, Ethan Page, Josh Woods, Katsuyori Shibata, Mark Briscoe, Roosh, Shane Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Willie Mack. That's solid. And remember, I'm going into this thinking that Brian Cage, Dalton Castle, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, Ethan Page, Mark Briscoe, and Roosh and Wheeler Yuta, they float back and forth between AEW and Ring of Honor. Especially Wheeler Yuta. He's pretty much AEW at this point. But I like this roster. Again, great names. You can put on great matches. And you can just go. So you take all of that, and what's left to be done? We need our champions. So some way, somehow, we need to start from a base and come up with champions for this division. So the current 6-man tag team champions are the Mogul Embassy. I'm going to change that because they're essentially featured on AEW. I'm going to make the 6-man tag team champions Shane Taylor Promotions. That's a good draw for them. Shane Taylor Promotions. And I could see them going into other promotions and defending the 6-man tag team championships. I would love to see them. I've said this time again, I think Ring of Honor and TNA need to be partnered together. So, the Knockouts tag team division can be featured in Ring of Honor, and then we can get the 6-man tag team division in Ring of Honor into TNA. Next up, we have our TV championship. Seeing as how I'm putting the 6-man tag team championships on the TV, so 6-man tag champions on Shane Taylor, I don't want him to hold 2 belts. So for the TV championship and someone that can just go, I'm actually putting this on Ethan Page. The man needs to be featured. The man needs to be elevated. He's so good, and this would work. The Pure Championship, keeping it the same. Make it the final boss, Katsuyori Shibata. That's what I'm doing. And the tag team titles, we have to get them off of Adam Cole and MJF. So who do we go with? Originally, I would have said Top Flight, but they keep getting injured. I'm going to go with a team that's really charismatic, that is solid in the mic, solid in the ring. And I'm actually going to go with Vincent and Dutch, the Righteous. Now that they're partnered with Jake the Snake and Lance Archer, this would work. That would work. For the Women's World Championship, I'm keeping it on Athena for now. But, and this is a big but, it's going to be time for her to lose it. And I think the story would dictate, and I'm going to take a shot on her. We're going to put the championship on Billie Starkz after Athena. And Athena can go back to being a heel again. She's kind of a face now. And use Billie and see if Billie can run with us. But you also have your backups, because I think Red Velvet would do great with the championship. I think Diamante, it's her time. And for the Men's World Championship, we're going to keep it on Eddie Kingston. We're going to keep it on Eddie Kingston and let him just elevate the brand. Now, there's one name that I think needs to be on this roster, but also to go back and forth, and that's Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee is a big enough star. I think Keith Lee is ready to carry anything. Just like I feel like Swerve should be world champion in AEW, Keith Lee could be that guy, that glue guy. And he can be featured in both AEW, Ring of Honor, and help carry the Ring of Honor brand. And I'm confident in saying that. So, what does this all come out to? We have a good show. Get an arena. Hell, if you don't want to film back in Jacksonville, use the 2300 Arena here in Philly. Take it back to your roots. Make Philadelphia once again the home base. You film a month's worth of shows, right? Get the guys featured on AEW. Bam, you got your arena. Bam, when you use pay-per-views, you use the small arenas that seats 3,000 to 4,000 people, right? Bam, you got your roster. Bam, build it, let it grow. Now all you need to do is get a TV deal. Get them on streaming. Get them on Max. Get them on Prime. Get them somewhere. But you have to get Ring of Honor off the Honor Club. That's just my 2 cents, folks. That's just my 2 cents. But thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out next week's show. We will have the full gear preview. And don't forget to check out the 2 things coming this week on the YouTube channel, the list of ranking the best full gear matches, and of course Flashback Friday coming this Friday. Don't forget to check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter. There is a new review up The Marvels, which was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the High Risk Wrestling recap every single Sunday. And as always, Gigi Dolan, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Isla Dawn, and Bailey, holla at your boy. Peace.